So the first weekend that I was forced to live in this house, we owned both houses technically, but while I was at school, my family moved all my shit to this house, so there was no point in me being in the other house, even though I definitely would have preferred it. I ended up smashing my skull on the stairs over here. Go down these stairs. There, on that little ledge there, I fucking smashed my dome going down the stairs. And I ended up, let's just take a little walk downstairs here. Whoops, zooming in for no reason. That's weird because it's backwards. I ended up smashing my dome on there, and I just curled up in a ball on the floor down here. Just, you've probably seen this room in older videos when I was streaming. But I ended up curled up in a ball on the floor, like right about there, give or take, crying. I may have had a concussion. I don't really remember, but I do remember smashing my head, crying, curled up in fetal position on the floor. And I remember my mother stepping over me to get something. That's pretty much our relationship, really.
When someone meets my family, they inevitably ask, "How are you, you?" Why is that, you ask? Have I got a story for you?
You guys are getting to see more and more of my house, huh? Oh, God! One of the most obnoxious things. So, you guys are, I don't know if I think I mentioned him before. My big gay cousin, I was living with him at the old house because he was taking care of it before we sold it. And he had come to live with us for a while. And he had this orange plant. And I don't know if it's actually an orange plant or not because I've never seen it. Like, there's never been an orange growing on it ever. But we have an orange plant, and we brought it to this house. And I call it the attack plant because I fucking hate this plant. It's, oh my God. You might be like, I don't understand how you could hate a plant. Like, what? Okay, so this plant, first of all it does is die and then magically come back to life. Or I guess technically it gets really sick, but it gets kind of like moldy on the leaves themselves. And there's this weird sticky goop all over it, and then it makes gnats. There's fucking gnats everywhere. And when it's, summer, we put it outside, so it's not a problem. But then when it starts to get cold, my mom brings it inside. And for a long time, it was downstairs in the den, making fucking bugs. Just bugs everywhere, because of that fucking plant. And then after a while, we stopped getting the bugs, which was great. But it also has thorns on it. And for some reason, I swear to you, when you walk past this plant, it just reaches out and stabs the shit out of you. It must know that we hate it because it's a fucking asshole. But my mom's like, no, it's a living thing. And she really takes care of this plant for some fucking reason. Like, in the winter, she fucking puts, like, a goddamn blanket over it. And I'm like, it's a plant! That's not what you do with plants! But also the blanket is over it to stop it from stabbing people! But it still stabs the shit out of you anywhere, wherever it's currently hidden. And one time, we were having a conversation, and I was like, one of these days, I'm going to burn that plant to the ground. Just set it on fire and watch it burn, and I'm gonna revel in it. And my mom looked at me, and she goes, you can't set living things on fire. And I just turned to her real slow. Who told you that? Because they're wrong. And yet still, she insists on keeping this fucking plant. Everyone hates this plant. It's not just me. It stabbed every one of my friends at least once. I'm surprised it hasn't stabbed the shit out of the dog because my sister's dog is retarded and she will walk straight into a rose bush. Just like thorns and all, she'll walk straight, head first, straight into it. And then she'll be like, oh! And I'll be like, you're an idiot. You are a stupid dog. I don't understand why you do this to yourself. But I hate that plant. And it's always going to be here. It's probably going to outlive us all. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Now, one of the things you also need to know about this house in particular is that I do not consider this place home. Like, there's nothing here for me, like, out there. There's no people around that I can hang out with, really. This isn't home. I don't feel comfortable here. And, like, I've had conversations with other friends, like, especially Ted, who'll be like, I don't understand why your family doesn't understand why this isn't home. Why would you consider home Why would you consider a place where everyone treats you like shit home? Like, what's the point of that? That just makes everything in life miserable. Like, I don't understand. This one time, I was home eating ramen, like, college student that I am at heart at all times. Speaking of that, New Paltz is really my only home left. It's the only place I can go and be me, and I don't give a fuck. Like, if other people are upset with that, that's too fucking bad, because that's who I am. But sometime I'm eating ramen at home. Mom came home from work, and she was like, how does it feel being home? And I just, like, slurped up this huge... It was definitely one of the noodles that had not broken when I had heated it up, and I'm just like... And I look at her, and I'm like, I don't... What? This isn't home. I don't know why you would think this is home. Like, this is, no, no. This just happens to be the place I'm at currently. Like, no, it's not home. Home is supposed to be where the heart is, and this house is cold as Hitler's heart. So if that's where my heart was, I would probably be dead. I probably would have died from hypothermia at some point. It's fucking cold in this house because we don't get heat because that costs money. So fuck you. No. No, actually, I just had a conversation with someone. They were like, "Oh, you're up early today," and I was like, "I know. My aunt was staying here. Not but my crazy aunt, the one that's been institutionalized. My mom had the heat up, which is excellent because normally my mom only turns the heat on for Liz if she's visiting or Valley of Ageria. So also for my aunt because she felt bad that she was here after surgery and what have you. So she had the heat on, and that means I got to wake up like a normal person instead of waking up. I'm shivering, but actually you sweat. Like, when you shiver so much that you start to sweat as your body tries to, like, maintain homeostasis and stuff like that. So, generally speaking, I wake up a sweaty mess because I've shivered the entire night because it's fucking cold. I'm also pretty sure I had a lesser degree frostbite or a very low degree of frostbite on my toe because it swelled up, changed colors, and was hella itchy for like a week and a half. Like, it's fucking cold in my house. It's always cold in my house. Well, my mom doesn't see the problem. Everyone else is like, Jesus Christ! And yeah, it's just a thing. It's just really fucking cold in here. I would not want my home to be someplace where I'm afraid it's gonna be like the Ice Queen is here and she's actually frozen my heart. Like, no, don't do that. No, this is not home. It's a place where I sit and eat ramen, but it's not home. Also, a lot of things have been, like, since we moved here, my family has decided they want to be part of my life and, like, be important parts of it. And no, get the fuck out. You're already around enough. Just get the fuck out. Just go. And one of the last times the favorite child was visiting, apparently my brothers, like, had no idea. I don't know how they spent any time with my sisters and didn't realize that, like, the family dynamic that's going on where everyone else is fucking insane. I mean, I'm insane too, but I'm at, like, a reasonable degree of insanity to the point where it doesn't, like, interfere. I am a remarkably well-adjusted human being for being part of this family, as many of my friends will tell you, and I will also tell them, usually amidst screaming, I am a remarkably well-adjusted human! For being part of this family, but, like, my favorite child's husband had no idea that there was any kind of, like, going against one another in the family at all. And the last time the favorite child and her husband visited, she brought my niece and nephew, and we're sitting in the car, and we had like a family day out, and my sister was like, you need to let us in. If something's bothering you, you need to let us help you. And when she decides to have this conversation, I'm literally trapped between the baby seats in the back seat of the car she had rented. And, like, when I say trapped, I mean, no, I actually got stuck. Like, I don't have an ass, but my ass was trapped between the two baby seats. My brother had to pull me out of the car. Like, there was no room for any other humans to be in there. And they were like, you're small, you can get in there. And I was like, I don't. And I finally got in between the two baby seats. I was like, we're going to have problems when I get out. And yes, we did have problems. But at that point, both my niece and nephew were freaking the fuck out for some reason. So the two of them are screaming and crying. And my sister's arguing with me that we need to be, that they need to be let into my life so they can help me. And I start arguing with her because obviously I don't trust her. And my brother's just sitting in front of the car and he's just like, what do I do? What the fuck is going on? Why are we having this conversation in the car? Why is everyone in the back seat screaming and crying? And I'm like, we're having this fight. And I'm like, wait, favorite child, hold on, calm down, hold on. And I go over there, I'm like, yo, you know, I have zero qualms with you at all. This is definitely just a sibling and family thing. Like, I have no problem with you. Like, if you and me and my other brother hung out all the time, be perfectly fine. Brothers-in-law, remember. It's not like my sister married. That's weird. No, brother-in-law. I just call them brothers. It's easier, and they're like my bros, yo. They're relatively normal people. I have no idea how they ended up with my sisters, but I feel so bad for them every day. But anyway, I'm like, yeah, I got no beef with you, no problems. And he's like, oh, thank God. I'm like, yeah, I know, no problems here. But like, I've had the conversation multiple times with my family that like I don't trust them. That's it. They've given me pretty much zero reason to trust them. Especially my mom, you know, when she hanging in the doorway telling me that's how people get murdered when their brake lines rupture. I'm gonna trust the fuck out of you. No, I'm not. I want to live. That ain't happening. So apparently my sisters like never ever talk about any familiar problems. I'm pretty sure the favorite child, because you know 2 + 2 = 5 if mom says it, so favorite child wouldn't have any problems anyway. So she wouldn't mention anything of it. But like my brothers had no idea that there was so much friction going on in the family, and I'm like, y'all blind? I think y'all blind. I'm just saying, y'all blind. Y'all blind. Well, also, the Banshee, you know, she doesn't have object permanence, so if the problem is not there in front of her, it doesn't exist anymore. So that probably had a little bit to help with him not noticing the friction, because if it wasn't there, then it wasn't there. Like, it just doesn't exist anymore. It's only there when she's arguing about it, which is pretty much all the time that she sees any of us, because she's always fucking screaming. I also found out recently you can use her as like a weather detector. When it starts snowing outside, you can hear her screaming down the street. So there's that. That's a neat trick. Did I mention she doesn't live here? But you could still hear her outside, and you know she's walking around screaming and shit. Just, oh my god, what is wrong with this family? Oh, this is a story that a lot of my friends love that I'm pretty sure I haven't told you guys about yet, because it's sort of relationship related, and I've tried to keep most of these stories most of my relationship stories sort of private out of courtesy, but this is a story you need to know, and it doesn't really involve any relationship issue kind of dealies. It's nothing too personal except for me. But okay, so rewind to like 4 years ago on me and Liz's anniversary. We couldn't hang out together. It was a weekday. She was working. Anyway, we decided for our anniversary we were going to watch the end of El Cazador de la Bruja, which is an anime about, well, it's actually, if you translate it, you might be like, wait, an anime with a Spanish name? Yes, because it takes place in, I want to say future Mexico, but it's not really future Mexico, but it's future Mexico, okay? It's about witches and witchcraft and the story of 2 girls who befriend one another, and it's a good story all around, and my ex ended up really, really liking it. So we decided we were going to watch the end together. And I'm sitting in my chair, and it's pre the chair that broke, so it's one of the rolly chairs. It's the rolly chair that they gave me. Well, they brought home, they picked up a big rolly chair off the side of the road that's now in the office, because it doesn't actually fit here. So I had taken a rolly chair that was originally in the office when we switched them, and I hated this fucking chair because it also didn't fit. Rolly chairs don't fit in my room. And I had this rolly chair, and I couldn't move it because the arms were off, and one night I was fucking furious. I was so mad because the chair that broke was really comfortable. My mom always insisted I couldn't use it because it looked like shit. And I was like, I don't give a fuck, it's comfortable. I don't care how it looks. There's pieces of it falling off. Whatever, I didn't care until it broke while I was sitting in it. But that's a different story. So I had this chair, I had the rolly chair in here, and one night in like a fit of anger, I furiously unscrewed the fucking arms on it and I threw them out of the room. I was like, fuck you, chair! And that chair stayed in here for quite a while before I had the chair that broke. Or I guess I re-brought the chair that broke in. So it was in the rolly chair. I'm sitting in the rolly chair. And as you know, rolly chairs are actually kind of heavy. So let me just add that to the story. Now you guys know about my mother's unhealthy obsession with blinds. However, funniest shit ever. Just a little getting off topic. That's kind of what I do. You know how my mother has a very unhealthy obsession with blinds. The other night, she was being a super creep, and she was telling me about my neighbor that she's dating's house. She wanted to know where he was in the house at that time, and I was like, "Yo, get a fucking life." But she didn't, for the first time ever, she didn't walk over to my blinds and play with them. There was just a little bit opening, and she's trying to figure out where in his house my neighbor is, which is fucking creepy all in and of itself. But she was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's about 7-ish p.m., so he's probably in the top there." And she realizes the blinds are almost all the way closed, and instead of walking over there and opening them like she normally does to stare into my neighbor's house because she's a fucking creep, she goes like this. I swear to God, she became Kevin Hart. She goes, "It's about 7:30, so he's probably up in his house. He's just he's probably in that window right there." Yeah. And I'm like, "You're not normal. Calm down. Stop being a creep." Nobody fucking does that. Nobody walks up to the window and is like, "It's this time of day. I know exactly what room of the house that man is in. Yeah. Oh, let me just stare in there." No, stop it. Get out of my room. Stare in his window from another room. That's fucking creepy. Stop it. Stop it. But also, I'm just going to interject here. My mom has an unhealthy obsession with the blinds, as you know. But she also, just the windows in general as well, they have to be open. As you know, windows have to be open in any room that I drop trow in. To the point where she's so furious about throwing windows open that she's broken the windows here. She's knocked them out of frame because they had to fucking be open! And just, and then she's mad. Like when it's fucking pouring and she opens all the windows, she'll be like, "I don't open windows when it's raining." And I'll be like, "Everything is fucking wet! You opened all the windows!" She also does this thing where right before it rains, she has to open all the windows in the house because it's cool then. And then she's like, "Oh God, the windows are open!" I'm like, "I know, you opened all of them! All of them! Why?" But she's broken the locks on both of my windows because she tried to fucking throw them open. And I fucking table flipping emote. That's what she does to windows. She's broken them. She's knocked one of them out of the frame. And to be fair, none of the windows were properly sealed in this entire house. So like you can physically see the breeze if you put a paper up while the window's closed and locked next to the window. You can watch the paper flutter in the wind. That also doesn't help why this house is so fucking cold. But I'm just saying. But anyway, back on track. So it's our anniversary. We're watching our movie. Oh, our TV series. The end. It's like we're on like either the penultimate or the last episode. Anyway, so we're watching. The Banshee is over naturally, and the Banshee must fix everything, even if she has absolutely no reason to fix it. And this night, she decided she was going to fix all the screened windows in the entire fucking house. Now, you notice how I didn't say that day? That fucking night, she came over in the dark and decided she was going to fix all the screen windows in the house because she knows how to do that. That's another weird story. I don't know how the fuck she figured that out, but that's a thing that she learned, and she was like, "I gotta do it for you because I love you." And my mother is an enabler, so she was like, "Yeah, okay." No, get the fuck out. You don't live here. So anyway, we're watching. I have the door closed, but I can't lock it because I'm not fucking allowed. And well, first of all, I'm a grown-ass man, but also, if I did find a way to lock it, I'm sure one of my family members would Hulk the fuck out like the favorite child did and throw that shit off the hinges. So it doesn't really matter, now does it? So we're watching, and my sister decided in the dark she was going to fix all the screens in the windows for some reason. And that means she needs to fix mine as well. So we're watching. It's not like we're just watching and we're like on the phone or something. We're video chatting while we watch. So she can see. Liz can see what's going on in my room. And here as well. And so my sister and my mom are outside my door. It's closed, which is unusual because I know they're just going to barge in anyway. So I, generally speaking, don't close my door. And if I do close it because I'm taking a nap, which is what normal people would do, then my mom bursts in and she's like, "Are you okay?" when she's like right next to my face, so I can't sleep anyway. There's no point in me closing the door. It's just going to lead to problems. So I wish I were exaggerating, and I'm sorry, headphone users, for blowing out your eardrums, but that's actually how they would come in and see if I'm sleeping. So sleep has never really been a thing for me because I'm just going to wake up. I'm just going to wake up terrified. Like there's no point. So anyway. Two of them are outside my room, and I hear, "I need the screens on your windows!" The fuck? Well, I'm watching a show, so you guys can come back later. Also, it's dark. And they're like, "No!" And they burst through the door. Now, you might be like, "Oh, okay, what? They're gonna see that you're doing stuff." No, remember, they're not normal human beings. They don't give a fuck that I'm doing anything. They don't give a fuck that someone else outside of the family is watching. They barge in, they walk over here. Now, as you can see, here's my computer, the windows. There weren't this many monitors at the time, there was just the one. This is my chair, my computer, and stuff. The TV is behind where the camera is right now, so you can't see that. But as you can see, whoops, I messed up the camera. Sorry, didn't mean to pick it up. I'm too fucking hyped for this episode, apparently. But, the windows are there behind the computers. And my mom and my sister can't get to them because I'm in the way. I'm physically in the way. So I swear to God, two of them walk in the room. Imagine Donatello here is my chair and that I am sitting in it. It is turned this way currently because I am watching the TV and looking to the side to see my wonderful, now ex-girlfriend's expression every once in a while as we're watching. I'm sitting in the chair. They need to get to the window, which is where technically I would be in this situation. A little bit to the left. So they need to get to the windows because they want to change screens in them, obviously. And remember, the screen is a secondary window, so you have to open the actual window to get there first. So they barge in, they lift up the window, they go to get the screen, they can't get it out because I'm in the way. Swear to fucking God, you can, even though I don't talk to my ex anymore, you can ask her. This is something that happened. She saw it happen. They can't get to the screen. Do you want to know what they do? Remember, Donatello is the chair in this analogy, right? Right? Oh, we can't get to the window? You know what we're gonna do? Even though Scott's sitting in the chair? Fuck this chair. Swear to fucking God, they flip the chair while I'm sitting in it. Throw me on the floor. I have never in my life been so livid, and it was the only time in our entire relationship that I scared the shit out of Liz. But I'm literally on the floor as they're trying to get the screens in my windows! And I jump up to my feet. It was like one fluid motion, like I was down and then wham, and I stomp my feet and I flip the chair back at them and I go, "I'm in here! Get the fuck out!" And I pick up the chair and I throw it out of the fucking room. And my mom and my sister at this point, they both stop and they look at me like I'm crazy. "You literally threw me on the floor, you fucking cunts!" And then you have to pause the show and my ex is like, "Are you okay? Like, barring physical injury, are you okay mentally?" And I'm fucking stewing in rage because my mom and my sister think I'm the one who is at fault here. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh. And they wonder why I say things like I'm going to disembowel them and strangle them with their own entrails, but it won't be quick enough, so I'm going to stab them a whole bunch of times while I'm strangling them. And my ex is like, "Okay, you really need to calm down. You are scaring me." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to fucking kill him." Ah! And that was the one time my sister and my mom needed the screens on my windows!
Hey there, guys and gals. Thanks so much for watching, as always. If you click the link on the left, you'll be taken to the previous episode. If you click the link on the right, you'll be taken to the playlist where you can watch them all.